Okay. So concluding now, the ois, we did conclude it or not? All right. So he's just saying, not just saying, it's not just. He's saying that even though Yesh Ma'ayin is only Mikrecha Atzmos, and Hashem descending on the plane of Mo'ir and Oir, by definition, creates only that which feels its source, and not something that doesn't feel its source at all, complete independence. Because as we explained, that Moir can only produce something like itself, which is a source of light, that every expression feels the source. And the Oir can only produce that which is like itself, feeling its source. Only Atzmos that has no source can create that which feels it has no source also. And yet, that's conveyed also in the Oir, but latently. Picking up the text now, 10 lines from the bottom. It's in the, pardon? The line begins with Hamar Shabai. If you go back to Vahare, in the middle of the line, 2/3 down. That Hashem can create out of nothing, that's not an expression of God being a luminary and being known. That's because he is a creator. On him, mean here the design created by the creator Yesh Ma'ayin. That's why we can be confused. That word Beida here. You mean Beida as in Beida Yesh Ma'ayin, Bria, as opposed to the tzir and form and the beauty of creation. That's the Moed and Oir component. Nonetheless, even this this too is carried in the Oir. So when Hashem, to put this in simple, direct, clear language, it means that in the decision that God made to be known, there should be a knower, that's you and me, and we should know him. In that decision, knowing him is not only that we should know that he is divine intelligence, but he is a true creator, Yesh Ma'ayin, even though that's beyond our ken. Can't imagine Ayin, can't understand Yesh Ma'ayin, say the words. But we should know that. And the emes is the fact that we should even be able to say the words and talk about it, because this is carried in the Oir latently. The revelation of Atzmos is avodah, but the awareness, even speaking about it, the emes is speaking about it because Torah is speaking about it. Torah revealed this. It's all part of the avodah component that we speak of Atzmos. And the reason why even the Atzmos, in other words, is also revealed in Oir, in revelation, which is Dovak with the Moed, and again, by definition, cannot create ex nihilo, something from nothing. He's tracing it back. The Oir is Ke'in HaMoed, and the Moed is bound up with Atzmos. It's God's decision to be a Moed. The intention here is, it's a lot pashut, this holding in, as you can appreciate. As far as Atzmos is concerned, Moed is no more bigger revelation of him than anything else, and in fact, it doesn't have to be revealed altogether. So when Hashem decided that he's going to reveal himself, it's everything about himself, even Atzmos Yisborach, which is fundamentally beyond us. It's not just beyond. Beyond is beyond us. This is beyond. Beyond we can have some connection to. So therefore, since the Oir is a reflection of the Moed, and the Moed is the expression, true, one expression, the decision of Atzmos, but at that level, if to get this clear, when the decision was made, he used to make it sharper and clear. When the decision was made of God to create, it wasn't like it has to go this way. No, it doesn't have to go this way. It was the decision that I'll reveal myself as a Moir and then in Oir. So listen carefully, in that decision is also, he's higher than Moir. That's what that decision is saying. So therefore, in the emergence of the Eibush, as it were, as Moir, carried there latently is the truth that Atmos is higher than Moir, didn't have to be this way, and that true Moir is revealing. And moreover, it's going to be Atmos that will create Yesh Ma'ayin. In other words, to put it in other words, when the Eibush decided to be Moir, from that, the conclusion would be he's going to create spiritual worlds that will feel him to one degree or another. Again, like the artist, whatever he produces is traceable. You could not see, looking at the highest Darga Moed, it's going to end up being this. Dover Gashmi that says, Ani v'apsi oid, real yeshes, independence, something yesh ma'ayin that doesn't feel its source at all and comes out of nothing. You could not know that looking at Moed.
Besides for Marcus the Hayom, does any other do all the other levels?
Not Yesh Ma'ayin, it's Tzimtzum. It's all traceable. Tzimtzum is a process. Tzimtzum plays upon the Oir. There's no point in Ishtalshalos which Yesh Ma'ayin. Even though we use the word Olam Habriya, it's a question. It's not Yesh Ma'ayin. Why it's called Olam Habriya? Whatever. This has Beirim. But there's no point in Ishtalshalos. That's the whole point of Ishtalshalos. Ishtalshalos means traceable. One level is traceable back to the other. Seichel, like you see, B'nefesh Adam, Seichel produces midas produce actions. Machshava, Dibur Ma'is, it's all interlinked. So I get this clear again. Overtly, in the Eibush's decision, if they were observers of the whole process. So the Eibush's decision to be known, more inconceivable there that what's going to end up is going to be a creation that is yesh ma'ayin mamash. That's only mekoich ha'atzmos. And that is latently, however, in the Moed, which again means God is saying, my decision to be known, I want you to know me. Who should know? And it goes together. An existence that doesn't feel its source at all. And what will it know? Not just the divine designer, but will really know how its very existence came into being. And that is Mekoich HaAtzmos, know me. So the lowest possible level will know me, the absolute truth. This is the Tchilas number Sefer Mamash. Atzmos, Oil Mazar Gashmi. You and I, in the Shamas in a Guf Gashmi, should connect Atzmusa Yizbar. Again, not just Bashefer. Heilige Bashefer. And to connect the Bashefer, you don't need Torah mitzvahs. But Heilige Bashefer only ways Torah mitzvahs. Fundamentally inaccessible, not traceable. Yesh Ma'ayin means not traceable. Cannot be explained. There's no process here. It's not a process. Ishtalshalos is a process. It's a chain reaction. Higher level, lower levels, all interconnected. But Bri Yesh Ma'ayin is not a process. Unless we point out, it's not a bigger feat, Yesh Ma'ayin, to create a grain of sand or the universe. One is not a bigger feat than the other. Why? What?
Billion times zero is still zero.
Yeah, all right, but it's because they're both.
You can think of it in that term.
You could, but I'm thinking I know what you're saying. But what I'm trying to say is, impossible is impossible. If it's better, it's not more possible, less impossible. It's impossible to create Yesh Ma'ayin for Atzmos Eibush to do that. There's not a bigger investure of him in the Yesh Ma'ayin of a grain of sand in the entire universe. Where's the big difference? In the tzir, the seichel, and the complexity, and the vastness, and a million descriptions. That's all Moed and Oir. That's all divine designer, divine intelligence. Again, the artist. The artist can produce a very complex piece of art that deeply expresses his talent, or a simple piece of art, but it's still all him. And there's no yesh ma'ayin here. That's the expression of him. That's his natural expression. It's traceable, eminently traceable. His signatures in every work that he does. That's the tzir of creation. But in the Yiddish, the Vergangenheit, the etzem mitzius, yesh ma'ayin, it's not traceable. It's inexplicable. It's unimaginable. You cannot imagine even yesh ma'ayin. You can't imagine nothing because you're imagining something. If you're imagining, it's already something. Like a million times, nothing is, what is the word nothing is no thing. It's not saying what it is because it isn't. All you can say about nothing is it's not a thing. Can't say what it is because fundamentally it's not something. So language stops. So you say nothing. Gentlemen, are we here? Finish the ice. Let's go. Concluding the ice. This that the Abish is beyond divine intelligence, beyond the intelligent design creator. It's carried through in creation. It's his kavanah, so it's carried through. That's what he wants to be known, but it's concealed there. And the only way to access the Abish himself is no meditation, and no beautiful living, and no transcendence, and no spirituality will help you, and no religion will help you. Only the Eibush himself can allow for it, and that's Torah mitzvahs. So that's behelim. Omashin is galibor, what is revealed overtly in creation. The traceable divine designer, the moir, the luminary that produces this light. That's begolu. That's discoverable, eminently discoverable. Yes, balabayis, you see design, points to a designer. As I told you, the famous Medrash, describing Avram discovering God. He saw it all in the design. Mashin is galab, what is overtly revealed in the creative process. We can trace it back to divine intelligence. That's what Moed means. An entity that can be known and appreciated by another entity. So the Oed traces us back directly to the Moed, to, again, using the simple language, divine intelligence that produced this complex, beautiful world. Why doesn't the Oed carry also? God can do anything. The truth of Atzmos beyond Moed. Because that's what God wanted. It should be dafke behelem, and we should discover him through avodah, etc. The truth of who he is concealed in his creative process. What should be traceable and revealed? The Eibush is a luminary. The Eibush is beide. Heilige beide. That's behelem. Ava behelem yeshtem beide kol and yonim shabatzmos. And again, that's revealed through avodah. So let's continue now the next ice. Huh? What's that? I was just thinking we should make a scene now. How many days are we on this ice? That's a week almost.
Thursday.
Since last Thursday. Yeah. Should we make a test? Before we make a scene, make a test. That's what a good teacher does.
Actually, exempt.
What?
I wasn't here from the beginning.
You're exempt.
No.
You catch up. There's tapes that you can listen.
Oh, my last part of this.
When is the
Okay,
graduation
right.
party?
So this is the thing of oil. Well, let's remember the context. This is all to explain. Let me remind you. You remind me. Arimimcha Elikai Hamelech. So the word Elikai is two opposite translations. Just give me the Lashon HaKodesh. One. Huh? Elikus. Getlichkeit, godliness. Another meaning of Elikai, Eli Ha'oretz. It's psukim all over. It means koyach. Now, Lamaila, there are two opposite in Yonim. Elikai, godliness means revealed godliness. That's yeah, correct. And then koyach, like, is an investure of Hashem that is not so obviously traceable to him. Like koyach, get the moshel. Koyach, if I throw something and you don't see who throws it, you have no clue who throws it. Koyach manifests separately from the one who produces that energy. Elikai Likus means you can see the Eibishter. And Koyach means you don't see the Eibishter. How does the same word Elikai convey both opposite meanings? To understand that, he explained the difference between Oir and Shem, because Shem is similar, a name, also very external. If I tell you there's a guy out there, his name is David, you know nothing about him. Zero. Absolutely nothing. If his name is David, you don't even know if he's Jewish. So by understanding Oir and Shem, so Oir is the union of, that's a Likus, revealed the Likus, and Shem is similar to the union of Koyach. It's yours, but looking at it, I can't see you in it. Can't see you in your name, not overtly. The Chiddush is going to be that there is a Maila in Shem over Oir, and a Maila in Oir over Shem, and that's why the word Elikai, Trakt, carries both meanings, to bring out two virtues, two Mailis in the way the Eibush expresses himself. So let's go. But a name doesn't, as opposed to Oir. Again, what's Oir? Oir is watching you, watching the way you behave, expresses you. That's what Oir means. Hearing you, watching you. But if I don't see you, and I just have your name, I know nothing about you. You know, there's a person, but that's it. But you don't know anything about the person by knowing the name. Now, it's going to be a shtikal arichas here about the name. Not so simple. Even though Hashem that the Lashon HaKodesh, the name of everything, that is the means by which the life force of Hashem is invested, that animates and Bemes creates. There's two things. There's create yesh ma'ayin, its fundamental existence, and then its animation, again, its tzir. And all of this is conveyed in the name. So l'chayre and Yodim has this reconciled. We don't know what it is, but the name carries, it's through the divine name, the holy, the Lashon HaKodesh. These letters are all hamshachas. It's through these letters that the entire identity and existence of the object comes into being. So we do know. So how do you reconcile? You can explain? First this side of the coin. Ki yadua b'pirish hakosov. It's known that the Malachim protested. The Malachim protested to the Eibush, what's the Maila of Adam Adam, who is Adam that you should be concerned with him. And the Eibush showed them to the Malachim that his Chacham is greater than theirs. He was able to give a name. So what's the Chacham made up a name? He saw a horse, he said, source. No, he saw the Isis, and he saw the Shoyrish, he saw the source, etc. So every name that Adam gave to a living thing is its name. He wasn't making up a name. He was seeing the source that produced this creation. And that's what a name means in Lashon HaKodesh. The Aleph Havdalas. In every other language, a name is a label. First comes the thing, and then how are we going to call it? Call this table, call this chair. If the whole world would decide to call this table and this chair, it wouldn't change anything. First is the Metzias, and now we're going to attach a tag to it to be able to identify it. So it's a heskem. It's a decision a societal decision, agreement. Language evolves, the whole history of language. That things are called by what they're called. And how are they called this way? Usually because of its description and function. Chinese actually almost paint a picture of what the words apparently they don't read Chinese. But Lashon HaKodesh is not that way. The names that Adam gave is not a name attributed to something, like an agreement. You need a consensus, otherwise the language is meaningless. We all have to call it the same thing. Then there can be a language that we can communicate it. That's not so Lashon HaKodesh. But the name of Lashon HaKodesh has a connection to the very thing itself, and moreover, and the name conveys its source. Like the Shalom writes, Adam Marisha knew the mystery of the supernal Merkava, described by the Nevi'im, right? That Hashem writes upon it means the divine attributes, the various supernal forces, the Malachim, the Maila. What I'm talking about, the Merkava, yeah. Lord the Melyon, it sits upon the Merkava and the four faces and so on. So he knew the source of all of existence here. That's why he is able to call it a name. It's appropriate, he said, to call this creature a Shod, because he saw Shin, Vav, Reish. Each letter is a channel of divine energy. Specifically because it's traced back to this divine revelation that has, this is all metaphoric, has the image of a Shod. It was one of the creatures that holds aloft the Merkava, the eagle, etc. Likewise, look at all creatures and appropriately gave the name. So, what are we saying? That a name is that a name not traceable? It's the source. But the answer is Kol Zeh B'Helem. That's all concealed. We know it's through this name, when a person's sick, therefore we change the name, and so on, that through these letters, the life force is drawn. Avalachai, that's a fact. Avalachai is the creative force itself. Einim is Galya de Hashem, it's not revealed. Again, if I tell you someone's out there, his name is David, even the Be'emes, you would know if you understand what David means. You'd have an understanding of a certain personality type. But you have to know more, really. You have to know father, mother's name, even sometimes grandparents. They're all these names, all contribute to your identity. So it's a lot of oisius that make you up. Rabbi Meir, your mother says, knowing a person's name could tell you the personality. But that's because he's understanding what the name is. But the name itself, it's just a sound. It's just letters. He knew the sod of it. Like David, like Adam Marisha. So what are the two things he's saying here? The chayis is not revealed in the name. That's the chayis invested in the particular creation. And likewise, the source isn't revealed. The ein ze elo. So what is it about the name? We know this fact, this reality. The names, we don't see the connection, but the name that was given by Adam to all of the creations, they're appropriate and reveal their source. So now that he told us the name, so we can now appreciate the different sources of creations because of the different names. But the actual name, it's just a sound. The name itself, doesn't reveal, and you can't see the source itself unless you can decode it. So Adam Arishan revealed to us that this is Pnei Shorshim Mekova. So we now have this insight and we can understand its chayis and life force. But the point is that the name per se, without knowing what that means, again, it's just merely a collection of letters and sounds, doesn't reveal the chayis or the source. Likewise, in the name of an individual person. The two things. On the one hand, Hashem Mekasha on the Neshama Baguf. This, the name, is the link that connects the Neshama with the Guf, which is why parents, unbeknownst to them, give a name. It's Ruach HaKodesh. You know, they don't know. They don't know what Neshama, the nature of this Neshama, the identity of this Neshama. So how they know what name to give? They don't have to know, says Daddy Yisrael. They just puts it in their head, and this is the name that they give. It's an unconscious nevuah. They don't see the neshama, and therefore they can't devise the name unless you see the source. But we don't. And it's funny stories too, where names were given that were unintentional. But that's what happened because Hashem arranged it that way. The last second, another name came out because that's the name of this neshama. That's the connection between this neshama and this guf. So Hashem likewise in every person, the Moishe Hashem Bekash and Hashem Baguf, even though Taka the name connects the neshama with the body, Vachayis and Animshach on the neshama, Umachayis Hagufu Nishresh B'Hashem, and the life force that comes from the neshama and animates the body is all rooted in the name. Krishna explains in Likutei Torah. Again, it's all concealed. It's not obvious at all. He says an interesting thing. We see many people have identical names. And yet, what? They're different. They have one source. Nonetheless, they're different, not just externally, in fundamental areas. Why? Because the name Bechlal, the chayis that's revealed in a name is concealed. So even though we have a name and the two people have identical names, the chayis that is coming through there clearly is different. Because why? We see that the different personalities. Now, Bemis, that also has to do, as I told you, with all the combination of letters of parents and grandparents. It gets very complex. Huh? Yeah, it's all to bear. That's why we don't. It's the reason we come. Someone's identified Ben, somebody else, not just a tag, because it's like his name. It's all part of his profile. But point is, in the name per se, it's all concealed. So now concluding, so in the Eibush, so again, Oid means Oid is effortless. A name is given to the person. And by the way, a person's a balabos in his name. A person can even change his name. You can't change who you are. Oir means the expression of who you are. It's true, a person could change midas, which is a Herculean achievement, but he still had that ability to do so. It's not coming out of a vacuum. So Oir naturally expresses who you are. A name is yours, connected to you, but does not overtly express who you are. Like Chayis and Oir, the same meaning, right? Concluding the Ois. Oir naturally reveals. The whole point of light is that it reveals the luminary. And it tells you what kind of luminary and expresses the luminary. Not only does the light reveal the moed, but when the light illuminates something else, you can understand with the Moishe. And I gave the Moishe before that you can look at the student of the teacher and know who the teacher is. Listen to the way he explains whatever the subject, and if you know the teacher, this is the signature of the teacher. The keli that the teacher illuminated reflects the illuminated, the source. That's how traceable, how gilui, how eminently revelatory, if that's the right word, it is. That even the keli that illuminates, the Gashmish, it means, if I'm looking at this, and I can see if it's a light bulb, if it's this, it's illuminating it. I'm giving you the marshal of the Talmud, and he speaks the subject. You can know who the teacher is. Yeah, let's finish the ois. Mashenkin Hashem b'chinas helem, but from a name we know nothing overtly. Haynu shebehelem hein legabi adavar nikra b'shem zeh. Even the person himself. What does the name tell him about his neshama and shayrish? Nothing. And someone referring to this object by its name, the name for both the person referring to the object and the object, or the person who carries the name, for both, the name itself conceals per se. To be continued.